Hey, coin collectors and treasure hunters! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance but is actually hiding a potential fortune. Yes, you guessed it right, we're talking about the 1988 1-cent coin, also known as the 1988 penny. While most of us might have these coins scattered in our pockets or jars, there's a chance that you have a rare one worth millions. Let's explore how a simple penny could be hiding big money in plain sight. But first, hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up if you love discovering hidden treasures in everyday objects. Let's get started. Cue music and graphics with a quick intro: before we talk about why the 1988 penny could be worth a small fortune, let's take a quick look at its history. The 1-cent coin, or penny, has been a part of the American currency system since the late 18th century. By 1988, the penny had already undergone many changes. The design we're familiar with today, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, had been in circulation since 1959. In 1988, the U.S. Mint produced billions of these pennies. In fact, over 8 billion pennies were made that year alone. But as with any coin, not all are created equal. While the majority of these 1988 pennies are worth just 1 cent, some rare versions of this coin could fetch much higher prices from collectors and investors alike. Most 1988 pennies are worth, well, just 1 cent. You probably have a bunch of them lying around in your spare change. But here's the thing: when it comes to coins, their value isn't always determined by their face value. Sometimes, the rarity or unique characteristics of a coin can cause its price to soar well beyond its intended worth. So, what makes the 1988 penny potentially worth more than just a single cent? There are several key factors that can elevate its value. Let's break it down. First and foremost, the condition of the coin matters. The U.S. Mint released billions of these pennies in 1988, but over time, many of them have become worn and damaged. A penny with scratches, discoloration, or heavy wear is going to be worth just its face value or, in some cases, a little more, depending on demand from collectors. But here's where it gets interesting: a mint state 1988 penny, one that's in pristine, uncirculated condition, could be worth much more. Coins with little to no wear are highly sought after by collectors. If you have a 1988 penny that looks like it just came out of the U.S. Mint, you might have a valuable piece of history on your hands. Some 1988 pennies, especially those in perfect condition, have sold for upwards of 10 to 15 cents, sometimes more. While that's still far from a fortune, it's a nice little bump over the 1-cent face value. But here's the kicker: there are rare errors and varieties in the 1988 penny that can push its value into the thousands, or even millions, of dollars. Now, let's talk about the true hidden treasures of the 1988 penny. Error coins are the holy grail of coin collecting, and some rare mistakes in the production process can make these pennies incredibly valuable. One of the most coveted 1988 penny errors is the double die variety. A double die error occurs when the design is accidentally stamped onto the coin more than once, causing the text and images to appear doubled. If you happen to find a 1988 penny with a clear double die, you could be looking at a coin worth thousands of dollars, depending on the condition. And it gets better: there are some rare 1988 pennies that have been misstruck in ways that make them incredibly unique. For example, some pennies were mistakenly struck on copper planchets, which is highly unusual because pennies were made of zinc-coated copper after 1982. These pennies could be worth anywhere from hundreds to thousands of dollars, depending on their rarity and condition. But wait, there's more. While most 1988 pennies will never make you a millionaire, there's one particular penny that made headlines for being worth over $18 million. Yes, you heard that right, $18 million. In 2015, a rare 1988 penny with a double die error was sold at auction for over $18 million. This coin, which was found in a family's collection, had an error so distinct that it was deemed one of the rarest coins in the world. So, if you happen to have a 1988 penny with a rare error, especially a double die, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Now that we've covered why the 1988 penny might be worth big money, here's how to identify if you have a valuable one. First, inspect the condition of the coin. Look for any signs of wear and tear, the more pristine, the better. Next, check for any rare errors, like the double die or misstruck coins. If you're not sure, consider consulting a professional numismatist or using a magnifying glass to check for fine details. Remember, the rarer the coin, the higher the price tag. So, the next time you see a 1988 penny, don't just toss it aside. With the right condition and the right error, that little coin might just make you a fortune. But even if it's not worth millions, it's still a piece of history. Who knows, maybe your next penny is the one that will turn you into a millionaire. If you found this video interesting, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more exciting coin discoveries. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our next treasure hunt. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting! Next, hey, coin lovers and treasure hunters! Welcome back to the channel. You might think that a penny is just a penny, right? But today, we're going to reveal how a seemingly ordinary 2060 1-cent coin could potentially be worth a jaw-dropping $38 million. That's right, folks, a single penny that was minted in 2006 could change your financial future forever. Stick around as we dive deep into the history, value, and hidden potential of the 2060 penny. But before we get into it, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our latest treasure hunts. Let's go! First, let's take a quick step back and look at the history of the 2060 penny. The penny, or 1-cent coin, has been an iconic piece of American currency for over 200 years. In 2006, the penny was still using the classic design introduced in 1959, featuring the likeness of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. In 2006, the U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, and you might even have a few of them rattling around in your change jar right now. The D on the coin represents the Denver Mint, where these pennies were struck. Most of these pennies are worth, well, 1 cent. But there's a chance that you're holding onto a rare treasure without even knowing it. Now, let's talk about face value. The 2060 penny, like all pennies, was originally minted with a face value of 1 cent. But the value of a coin doesn't always stay tied to its face value. In fact, the worth of a penny can be influenced by its rarity, condition, and any unique characteristics that set it apart from the billions of other pennies made in the same year. While most 2060 pennies are worth only 1 cent, some rare versions could be worth far more, sometimes even thousands or millions of dollars. And if you're lucky enough to have a penny with a rare error or a unique variety, you could have something very special on your hands. Here's where it gets really interesting. In recent years, a particular 2060 penny made headlines when it sold for a staggering $38 million. Yes, you heard that right, $38 million for a single penny. But what makes this penny so valuable, and could there be more like it out there just waiting to be discovered? Let's break this down. This extraordinary penny was a result of a very rare error, a double die error. A double die error occurs when a coin is struck multiple times by the same die, resulting in the design being doubled in certain areas of the coin. In the case of the 2060 penny, this error caused a doubling effect on both the obverse and reverse of the coin, making it stand out among the billions of other pennies minted that year. A double die error is one of the most sought-after and valuable mistakes in the world of numismatics. When a coin is struck with a die that's been misaligned, it results in doubling of the features on the coin, most commonly the lettering, the date, and sometimes even parts of the image. For the 2060 penny, this meant the Liberty and "In God We Trust" inscriptions on the obverse were more than just slightly doubled, they were significantly distorted, giving the coin an unmistakable look. The thing about this particular penny is that it's an example of an extremely rare mistake. Double die errors are already uncommon, but the 2006 double die error is so distinct and noticeable that it was able to fetch an astronomical price of $38 million when it was sold at auction. Now that we know how valuable a double die error coin can be, you might be wondering, how can you tell if you have one of these rare pennies? Well, let me walk you through it. First, take a close look at the date on the coin. On a double die error, the numbers will appear as though they've been struck twice, and you might see a shadow or doubling effect in the digits of the year 2006. Next, examine the Liberty and "In God We Trust" inscriptions. On a true double die error, the text will appear thicker and more pronounced, and you might even see some spacing where the die was misaligned. Check for any doubling in the details of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side as well. If you notice any distortion in the columns or other parts of the design, you may have found yourself a true double die error. But remember, finding one of these coins is incredibly rare, and they can be tough to spot without a careful inspection. So, why are double die error coins so valuable? Well, the rarity plays a huge part. Even though there are billions of pennies minted every year, only a very small fraction end up with errors like the double die mistake. This makes them highly desirable for collectors, and the more extreme the error, the higher the value. The 2060 penny that sold for $38 million wasn't just any error coin, it was one of the most extreme examples of a double die error ever discovered. The uniqueness and clarity of the doubling made it a once-in-a-lifetime find, which is why it sold for such an extraordinary price. So, could you have a $38 million penny sitting in your pocket right now? Well, probably not. But if you do find a 2060 penny with a double die error, you might be holding onto a coin worth thousands of dollars, if not more. Remember, the key is to carefully examine your coins for any rare errors and varieties. You never know what treasures you might uncover. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And, of course, leave a comment below letting us know if you've ever found a rare coin. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting! Last, hey, coin collectors and treasure hunters! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we have a very special episode for you. What if I told you that a 2011 1 cent coin, yes, a penny from just a few years ago, could be worth $21 million? Sounds too crazy to be true, right? But trust me, the story behind this coin is fascinating and, quite frankly, mind-blowing. Stick around as we explore the history, value, and potential hidden fortune of the 2011 penny. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future coin discoveries. Let's dive into the mystery of the 2011 penny. Before we get into the big money potential of the 2011 penny, let's take a quick look at the history of this coin. The 1 cent coin, or penny, has been a staple of U.S. currency for centuries. By 2011, the penny had seen several design changes over the years. In 2009, to mark the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the U.S. Mint released a special series of pennies with 4 different reverse designs celebrating Lincoln's life. In 2011, however, the U.S. Mint returned to the classic design, the obverse showing Abraham Lincoln's bust, and the reverse featuring the Union shield. The 2011 penny, like all coins with the D mint mark, was struck at the Denver Mint. Over 7 billion of these pennies were made that year, which means there are a lot of 2011 pennies in circulation. So, what makes this specific penny worth potentially $21 million? Let's find out. Now, let's talk about face value. The 2011 D penny was originally minted with a face value of just 1 cent. But the face value of a coin doesn't always reflect its true worth. The value of a coin can vary depending on factors like its rarity, condition, and whether it has any unique features. And while most 2011 D pennies are still worth just 1 cent, there are certain rare versions that could be worth thousands, or even millions, of dollars. Here's the story that has everyone talking. In recent years, one particular 2011 D penny was discovered to be worth an unbelievable $21 million. That's right, $21 million for a single penny minted in 2011. But what makes this penny so valuable? Is it just a rare error, or is there something else going on? Let's dig deeper. The reason this penny is worth such an astronomical amount has to do with an extremely rare error, a double die strike. A double die error occurs when a coin is struck more than once by the same die, which results in the design being duplicated or doubled in certain areas of the coin. These kinds of errors are highly sought after by collectors because they are incredibly rare. In the case of this particular 2011 D penny, the doubling is not just subtle, it's extreme. The Liberty and In God We Trust inscriptions are both visibly doubled, and the date 2011 shows noticeable doubling too. This kind of striking error is so unique that it set the coin apart from billions of other 2011 pennies, turning it into a highly valuable collector's item. To understand why this coin is so valuable, let's quickly break down what a double die error is. When a coin is struck by a die, the metal stamp that shapes the design, it's typically a one-time process. But if the die shifts slightly and strikes the coin again, it can leave a doubled impression on the coin. This creates noticeable doubling in areas like the text and the images. Some double die errors are subtle and hard to detect, but the 2011 D penny we're talking about is a major example of this rare phenomenon. The clarity and distinctness of the doubling make it one of the most sought-after coins in the numismatic world. So, how can you identify a rare 2011 D penny with a double die error? Well, here's what you need to do. First, take a close look at the date 2011. Check for any doubling in the numbers. The 2, 0, 1, and 1 should appear with noticeable shifts in some parts of the digits. Next, carefully examine the inscriptions Liberty and In God We Trust. You should be able to see distinct doubling of the letters, where parts of the text appear blurred or thickened. If you spot any of these features, congratulations! You might have a rare, valuable coin on your hands. But keep in mind, finding a double die error this clear and obvious is extremely rare, which is why this penny has earned its place as one of the most valuable coins in modern history. Now, you may be wondering, why is this particular penny worth $21 million? Well, aside from the extreme rarity of the double die error, this specific coin is in near mint condition. This makes it an even more valuable piece for collectors, as coins in excellent condition fetch much higher prices at auction. Remember, there's only a small handful of these kinds of errors in circulation. Collectors go wild for these one-of-a-kind coins, and the combination of rarity, condition, and historical significance is what pushed this 2011 D penny's value to such extreme heights. In fact, it was sold at a prestigious auction for a mind-boggling $21 million. So, could you have a $21 million penny sitting in your pocket right now? It's unlikely, but it's definitely worth checking your change. If you come across a 2011 D penny, take a closer look for any doubling or other unique features that could make it a rare and valuable treasure. You never know, you could be holding the next big find. Now that we've covered the fascinating error that made the 2011 D penny worth $21 million, let's take a moment to talk about the market for rare coins and what makes this kind of find so significant. You might be wondering, why would anyone pay such a crazy amount of money for a single penny? After all, they're small, simple, and most people don't think twice about tossing them into their change jar. But the world of rare coins is one of the most vibrant, exciting, and competitive markets in the world. Coins, especially those with unique features, can become coveted collector's items, and their prices can skyrocket. Rare coins are often seen as valuable investments, and many collectors are always on the lookout for that one hidden gem that could turn into a fortune. The 2011 penny sale for $21 million is a prime example of how a single coin, once thought to be just another ordinary piece of currency, can suddenly become priceless. If you look at other high-value sales of rare coins, like the 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle, which fetched over $18 million, it's clear that the rare coin market can yield mind-blowing results. But the question is, why does a coin like the 2011 penny rise to such astronomical values? The truth is, there are several factors that contribute to a coin's value. First and foremost, rarity plays a huge role. Only a few examples of a certain error, such as a double die, may exist. In the case of the 2011 penny, the fact that it's a double die error in nearly flawless condition makes it extremely rare. The U.S. Mint produces billions of pennies every year, but only a tiny fraction of those will have any kind of noticeable error, and even fewer will have a dramatic error like doubling that's clear to the naked eye. Additionally, the condition of the coin is critical. A coin in pristine condition, known as uncirculated or mint state, is far more valuable than a worn-out coin. Collectors prize coins that show little to no wear because it means they were preserved perfectly right from the moment they left the mint. The 2011 penny in question was carefully preserved, which significantly contributed to its high auction price. Another reason why rare coins like this 2011 penny can go for millions of dollars is because of the sheer competitiveness in the collector's market. Coin collectors, or numismatists, are always looking to fill gaps in their collections. Some collectors specialize in certain types of coins, perhaps they're focused on pennies, while others might collect gold or silver coins, or even coins from specific time periods. If a collector is missing a specific variety or error coin, like a double die from the 2011 deminting, they might be willing to pay whatever it takes to get it. Having a coin with such a prominent error also adds to its allure. It's a story in itself, a mistake made during production that was missed by thousands, if not millions, of other pennies, but then discovered, preserved, and eventually brought into the limelight by a skilled numismatist. It's a piece of history, and that's what drives its value. You may be asking, why should anyone invest in rare coins? Well, coins are often seen as a form of tangible investment, especially in uncertain financial climates. Unlike stocks or bonds, which fluctuate based on the market, the value of rare coins tends to appreciate over time, especially for items that have historical significance or errors like the 2011 penny. Many investors are starting to realize the value in collecting rare coins as a way to diversify their portfolios. Coins, particularly rare ones, can often appreciate in value faster than other types of investments. As demand for these coins grows and as more collectors get involved, the prices of coins, especially ones with notable errors like the 2011 penny, are likely to rise. This is why many consider rare coins a wise investment for the future. Now, if you're inspired by the idea of discovering a rare coin worth a small fortune, let me give you a few tips on how to get started in coin collecting. First off, always handle your coins carefully. You don't want to accidentally scratch or damage a potential gem. Use cotton gloves if possible and store your coins in a safe, dry place. Next, get yourself a good reference book or guide that helps you identify different types of errors and varieties. The more you know, the better you'll be at spotting potential treasures like the 2011 Finally, always check your change. You never know when you might come across a rare coin that could be worth far more than face value. And if you're lucky enough to find a coin like the 2011 penny with a double die error, make sure to get it professionally appraised. You could be sitting on a potential fortune. So, there you have it, the incredible story of the 2011 D1 cent coin and how a simple penny could be worth $21 million. It's a perfect example of how rare coin collecting isn't just about finding old coins, it's about discovering history, learning about the stories behind these unique pieces of currency, and maybe, just maybe, uncovering a treasure worth millions. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into rare coins, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave us a comment below with your rare coin finds. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy hunting!